The A26 gun nose, C model.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a bomber navigator in Korea. Did 50 missions in Korea. It's a really good read. I mean, it just happened to be a coincidence. I was reading that on the C model, and a guy sitting up in that glass nose every night, night after night, going into North Korea. That's a real.
Anyway, Petrowski, the one I was telling you about, he ended up a 4-star.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to track that book.
Yeah, that sounds like a very interesting read. That one.
I might have it. I just might not have read it.
Right.
I have a lot of books I haven't read yet. But. So, let's start at the top. Why A26K? Just saw it in Trade a Plane and thought, hey, I need to have this, or
No. The way it all started, it goes way back. The other airplane, the other A26, was a drug runner. They lost an engine, so they dumped their load, and they landed in Amarillo, Texas. And they had it parked next to the hangar I used. And two guys came out in a pickup truck, and the engine in a crate, and started to change it. The sheriff drove up, got to nose it around, took down some numbers, and left. As soon as he was out of sight, they took off. So I got to play in it for about 2 years. Sit up front and make airplane noises. I thought, how cool would this be? Never thought I'd ever had the chance. Later it was sold at sheriff's auction. My boss bought it, and it got over to the CAF. And so I go a long ways back. This is 70s, with that airplane. And, fast forward to about 2002 or 3. I was flying for an airline, and we had just started Billings, Montana. So I was coming into land, and I noticed over on the north side of the field there were 3 A26s. And I made the mistake of saying to my FO, gee, I'd like to have one of those. You've got to be careful what you wish for. Jumped to 2009, we had a feller, we were operating a B-25 here.
Right.
The greatest generation aircraft. It was Pacific Prowler at the time. And I was flying it. In 2009, a fellow from Germany called and says he's looking for an A-26, dual controls. And I remembered the ones at Billings, so I passed the word back, and I had a friend of mine up there in Montana go look and verify that it was dual control. And he says, well, I want to get it. I want you guys to restore it and bring it to Europe. Okay. Well, he put up money, earnest money, then backed out of the deal, and we were going, oh, crud. Missed our chance. Another fellow came to the museum who was he was an ex-Marine, and a Vietnam vet. I think he was a vet of Lebanon. And his dad had been an aviator in World War II, so he was, caught the bug. Next thing we know, we're talking about, I hated to lose that deal with the airplane. It had been fun to fly. And he said, oh, really? Hey, I'll buy it. Bringing it down from Montana and stripping the airplane at Denton up here, local shop. And he got up in the airplane, closed the canopy came right back open. He came down and said, sell it. He had claustrophobia. He couldn't take it. He won't fly on commercial airplanes for the same reason. He had ridden on the B-25, and that was okay. But this was just too tight. And so we're all scratching heads. Well, what are we going to do with this thing? And so I went to the bank and said, hey, you got this old airplane. would you guys loan some money on it? Yeah, we'll do that. And that's how it started. The airplane was here, and I didn't have anybody to work on it. And J.R. Hoffman and I met in the Bombay of the B-25 at a display down here at Texas Jet one fine afternoon, and we got to talking, and the next thing I know, he shows up out here and became the crew chief. And we started recruiting people. Initially, we got 6 kids from Tarrant County A&P school. And a little later on, we kept adding people, and we got the 301st Fighter Squadron.
Yes, several of us were
all the retirees from there.
F-16
that's
guys.
the current crop. We've got a couple of ex-Army, a couple of ex-Navy, but most of them are ex-Air Force. About 15 or so on the list currently. We've had over 40 through the 7 years that we've worked it, and gotten us to this point. It's all volunteer hours. It's over 20,000 volunteer hours over that time.
Wow.
And we've managed through, various donations, benefactors, and so forth to keep the project going. We have been connected with the guys who flew the airplane in the Air Force, both in Korea and in between and in Vietnam. The 609th Special Operations Squadron was the last outfit to work it. And we go to their reunions at Hurlburt every other year. And this last time we took the airplane down there for the overflight of the memorial service for special ops guys. And boy, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, because it had been like 49, 50 years since they had seen an airplane fly like that. And we actually had 2 of the vets on board. One of them actually flew it, flew the overflight. And they were very appreciative of that. And that's what it's really all about. It's like when I was talking to the guys up in Seattle, we've always felt that the Vietnam vets didn't get a fair shake. And they did what the country asked for them. They didn't get the welcome home that they should have. America learned from that, and since then has rectified it with all the other veterans. But we need to go back and do something special for the Vietnam vets. And that's what it's really all about. As I came to know those guys, I've been going to their reunions since 2011, and heard their stories and what they did with it. So back then in Vietnam, it was all classified. Nobody could even talk about it till the end of the 90s. Mm-hmm. And they never had more than about 15, 16 airplanes, but they were credited with, over 55% of the truck kills on the Ho Chi Minh Trail because they were so effective. They had long range. They could stay up there 5-6 hours, carry a huge load. I mean, you could load 12,000 pounds of ordnance on the thing. That's more than B-17 or B-24 you ever thought about. And those 2 guys could sit up there on the trail and wait for some traffic, working with lower altitude Fort air controllers or guys on the ground, tell them, hey, we got traffic for you. They were very effective because they could sit up there on the perch and wait for the bad guys. They became what we call the world's greatest distributor of truck beds. And this proves that the world is not flat, because if it was, cats would have knocked everything off.
That was exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Attention's not on him, and he's not happy about it.
So that's the long answer to your question.
Okay. So the state of the airplane when you got it was pretty rough. I mean, as far as it had been in an accident and...
if you didn't see the picture out there in the display case, it's really bad. What happened was, the way it escaped the boneyard, the state of Georgia Forestry Service got 3 of these airplanes out of the boneyard. And they had not been, like we said, done anything to them except take the machine guns out, the gun sights, and the gun chargers. They had intents of making them into air tankers.